Hello, everyone. Welcome to our April 25th, 2024 PC Power Hour. This is our spring cleaning edition. We're coming up to the end of the semester, so we want to make sure that we are wrapping up, that our scholars and that our PCs have everything they need in order to finish the semester strong. And so we have a lot on the agenda today, so we're going to just dive right into it. Before we get to the agenda, though, I do want to say that today's session will be recorded as per usual, and we will also be providing the information deck in our PC Weekly, which goes out tomorrow. We know that a couple of our PCs have been letting us know that they're not receiving the announcements for the PC Weeklies. So we want to let everyone know to first check your spam and junk box, make sure that you're not spamming us and that those messages are not getting rerouted into those folders. We know that a bunch of our partner colleges have also been increasing their firewall safeties just university wide. And so it might be that we are not listed as a safe sender. So you might want to just make sure that you list us on your email so that those emails do go through. Anything aside from that, if you're still not receiving the messages, please feel free to email nicole.mejia@TheDream.Us, and Nicole can work with making sure that you start receiving our weekly messages and our weekly newsletter. With that, we'll jump right into the agenda. So today we're going to be talking about the 2024-2025 National Scholarship Award announcements that just recently went out. You should have all received an email from Hain with the outline of those emails going out and sample letters of what those actual awards letters look like so that you could actually see what the scholars are also seeing. So we'll go through a little bit of that process. We will also talk about best practices for welcoming and engaging new scholars and even some current scholars with this particular time. There are some things that we really want and need your help with in making sure that students are on track. We will also be talking about ineligible announcements, tracking and advising those scholars, and how you can make sure that the scholars are staying on track of their eligibility status and what their next steps are. We will also talk about the 2024 annual scholar survey. We are going to be joined by our queen of data, Vernisa, who will be able to talk a little bit about that and really sort of outline what that means and how you can best utilize that data that comes from those surveys. We will then shift into our scholarship renewals and talking about our seniors and our alumni. It's graduation season, so we always want to highlight and celebrate our graduates. So we'll talk a little bit about how you can do that on your campuses. And then we will finish off with some graduate resources. Hopefully you've all seen the information for the student loan that is being offered by social finance, but we can talk a little bit about that as well. And then, of course, that we will provide an open forum for any of your questions and or concerns. So with that being said, we'll start off with our new scholars. And so we will talk to our queen of scholar management, Elena. Please take the mic.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So just wanted to give some quick updates on where we're sitting right now with the awards that went out last Thursday. So when we sent those out, we sent out award letters to 1,462 applicants, and they have 2 weeks to accept the scholarship or let us know if they're going to accept or decline it. So just that heads up of where we are right now. I pulled these numbers about an hour ago. So we are over halfway with acceptance. We've got 727 that have already accepted the scholarship. We have another 156 who have started the process of filling out their acceptance form. We've had 7 that have declined the award for various reasons. And then we have another 572 at this point who have not even opened their acceptance form right now. So it could be that it's sitting in their spam or junk folder. They haven't seen it. They're just still trying to make a decision. So we would love you to start, looking at your applicant report, who was awarded as winners, who's still sitting out there with a no response, and begin reaching out to them. So a little bit about, as Chris mentioned, we had sort of given you the information of like your award letter and stuff when we sent out or when Haynes sent out the information. So Chris, if you wouldn't mind jumping over to the next slide real quick. So what we let them know in their award details letter is that their award is for up to $33,000 for the scholarship and up to an additional $6,000 for the stipend. Everyone is eligible for the stipend except those that are attending Purdue Global University. We also mentioned that how it breaks down. So the award they can receive in a single term or single semester would be 4125. And if they're one of our schools on the quarter system, 2750 within that term. That is just the award amount. The stipend is the 750 per semester or 500 per quarter. And then in there, we also let them know, if you go to the next one, Chris, the awards and the stipends, we let them know, hey, it's going to be paid directly to your partner college. Happens mid to late semester. We also mentioned in there if any of our scholars live in the following states, they're required to apply for state aid so that it helps their scholarship funds go further. Let them know that it doesn't cover the full cost of attendance. So anything like health insurance fees, course fees, lab fees, meals, housing, the scholarship does not cover that. And then we also let them know that it is a renewable award and those renewals take place in June. So Chris, back over to you.
Thank you so much, Alina. So as Alina explained all of this information, right? We've emailed the scholars their acceptances, and so we really need our partner colleges' assistance and help in making sure that scholars have accepted the awards, and that they're going through the processes at their campuses for onboarding, right? There are waves and shifts in which you will be able to see scholars either on your applicant report or your PC scholar report. So I want to suggest that you do this in sort of 3 stages or 3 time frames, right? So because the deadline is coming up Thursday, May 9th, which is right around the corner, the end of next week, the first point of contact really is before May 9th, reaching out to your awardees, right? So those scholars who have been awarded the scholarship, and you can, again, download that information from your scholar portal on your applicant report. If you filter column R, you can just filter for just the students who have been awarded the scholarship. And then if you filter column T, you can see the students who have either not responded, have not or have started the response but did not submit it, right? And those are the students that we want to make sure that we are capturing, right? If they've already accepted or declined the award, then they've already sort of finished this part of the stage. And we really want to really focus on these students who have no responses or just started. Those are the priority because we want to make sure that we get them in before the May 9th deadline, because Elena is not playing nowadays and she will cut down the system and they will not be able to accept their awards after that date, right? So please filter out your list, find who those students are. We've already emailed them, and most of them are coming in and they are accepting the awards. The ones that are sort of still outstanding sometimes need that individual phone call, right? So this is where if you can pick up the call, hopefully it's just 4 or 5 students at your campus who need that extra push, and you can call them and just let them know, hey, you've received this, you need to do this before the deadline, or you're going to miss out on this opportunity. So this is super important, super helpful, and we really appreciate you all in helping us through that process. Once the application to accept the award has closed, so after May 9th, we reach sort of a new stage of you being able to identify the scholars on your campus, right? So this is where you will actually start looking at your scholar report and making sure that those who have accepted the scholarship are now being listed on your campus report, right? For those students who are now scholars at your campus. Now it's really important because there is a shift between the applicant report and the scholar report, in that you may have students who have indicated in their application process that they were going to attend one partner college, and then as they were accepting the award, are now going to be attending your partner college. So they would have not shown up on your original applicant report, but once they accept the award, they will show up on your scholar report, right? So there's a difference there that you want to be making note of. When you go into your scholar report, you could actually filter by the year program. For right now, the new scholars will not have a year. So you could actually just filter them by the Dream.Us National Scholarship, and you will be able to see all of the new scholars who have listed that they're going to be attending your campus, right? So if you're seeing new names there and new contact information for scholars that were not on your initial applicant report, you can now start reaching out to those scholars and making sure that they are aware of their networks, who to contact, and all of the other information for your campus, right? You want to, at this stage of the game, also just inform scholars of who the point people are on their campus specifically for the scholarship, right? They're going to have scholarship questions. They're interacting with other offices on your campus, from admissions to financial aid. And so they need to be able to have a point person that they could at least have some initial conversations with, and how the scholarship works, and what to expect as they onboard to your campus. The next phase of this will be in late June, early July, and this is right after the renewal season. So we'll be talking about renewals later on in this presentation, but once scholars submit their renewals later this semester, they will be able to identify what college they are going to be attending in the fall. Some students may be just transferring to another PC. Some may be graduating and transferring into a four-year program. They will have the opportunity to list that on their renewal. And once they do so, that will be updated in the system and they will show up on your scholar report. So again, you can review that and see those new names and make sure that you are connecting with your transfer students, so they are aware of their support network, and again, who to go to on their campus for any scholarship questions. Now, this process is not 100% guaranteed. We will still have maybe a handful, hopefully a very small, tiny percentage of students who either don't put it on the renewal form or do not submit a transfer request form, who we may sort of find out that they are at a different campus later on in the semester. I'm told that Elena has a crystal ball, but it only works like half of the time. So if the students are not submitting that request form or listing that information in their renewals, there is no other way for us to note that and make that visible on your side of the system. But we've been getting much better, and so I want to say, this later on in the stage of the semester should be a very small number. Now we're shifting from sort of like the logistics to more of the conceptual information and concepts of welcoming new scholars onto your campus. So I want to talk about some overarching concepts and themes. I actually revisited a presentation that we did last year where we brought Trinity College and University of Houston, and they did a session regarding how they welcome new students onto their campus. And I wanted to pull some overarching themes from that presentation and from my own work when I was working as the Dream.Us scholar at Hunter. And so a couple of things that you want to make sure that students have as they're onboarding onto your campus for success, right? One is getting scholars grounded. They need to know what the scholarship provides them, both financially but academically. What are their support networks on campus? Who to go to on campus? What does the scholarship break down to? So all of that information that Elena just listed in terms of how their scholarship works is super important for students to be able to hit the ground running and know what their scholarship entails, right? Another overarching theme was providing holistic support, right? So think beyond your actual just the scholarship, other support networks on the campus, academic advising, emergency funding resources, um, the writing center, right? Other academic resources that students need on campus to be able to do well in classes and to be able to thrive while on your campus, right? So we need to think holistically. We know that we are a scholarship for undocumented students, but we also need to support their other needs and resource and provide them the proper resources, right? And then finally, creating community with strong cohorts. As you all know, our MOUs and our partnership with our partner colleges across the country, we do have sort of a limit of 10 scholars per application round that we want to have enrolled at the campus. And we do that because we know that there is a value in students being able to have a peer network on campus, scholars that look like them, have similar backgrounds that they can connect with and navigate the process together, right? So with these in mind, we want to sort of conceptualize that and really sort of come up with actionable, tangible resources and items for students. So I can't say this enough. I've said it multiple times. Orientation sessions are amazing for really getting students grounded and letting them know all of the information that they need on to succeed on your campus and with the scholarship program, right? So I strongly recommend that you hold an orientation session for your scholars so that you can bring them on board and really have that conversation with them. It should be a collaborative effort. We do ask that our partner colleges have a team across the campus of a financial aid person, a admissions liaison, a counseling liaison, right? Like all of these people should be at these sessions, right? They need to see these faces. They need to see who their support networks are, not just their scholar advisor, but across the campus and across the program, right? So there should be a place where students can get all of the resources, again, thinking holistically for what they need to succeed on your campus, right? And then provide opportunities for them to connect in person or virtually, right? You can do a listserv, you can create some kind of private group for your scholars that allow scholars to connect with each other, that allow them to connect with you. Do monthly or semesterly events where they have the opportunity to connect with each other and talk about ideas, talk about how they're navigating their college process on your campus, right? So here are some examples of that. So I want to give some shout outs to some of our PCs who are killing it. Want to give a shout out to Denise at John Jay for putting together this resource flyer, which outlines a lot of the stuff that I've already sort of talked about, right? So you want to make sure that students feel welcome, that they know that there is a space on campus for them, that they have a community on your campus of peers and of staff that are there to support them, right? This is most likely going to be something new for your incoming scholars with it that they did not have prior, right? So they are feeling uncertain, they're feeling sort of, they don't know what to expect. Having an orientation session where you can hand out a flyer like this that references, that serves as a reference guide for them to know who to contact when they're in specific situations, who to contact for academic advising, for financial aid is super helpful, right? And so you should identify key staff members as point of contacts. As I mentioned, inform scholars of additional campus resources. So you can see on the guide, Denise has included the contact information for Student Emergency Fund, the food bank, counseling center, accessibility services, emergency Metro card program, right? So this is, again, thinking holistically and outside of specifically just that sort of undocumented student resource, but what do students need and what are going to be really beneficial programs for them to know about in advance that they can access, right? And then, there's only so much that can fit in the flyer, but you can see in the photo, Denise handed out this flyer at an orientation session that she outlined even more information for scholars, right? So set expectations, let them know what their responsibilities are, what is it that they need to maintain good standing in the scholarship program. Let them know that there are career opportunities that we have been working together with TheDream.Us and our partner colleges to provide non-employment based opportunities for our scholars, and that you come to PC Power Hour every month to find out new ways in how to support them, that there is a system in place to really help them create their career goals and outline those career goals, right? And that award breakdown that Elena just did, super important. It's probably one of the number one questions that we receive from scholars is, how does my funding actually work, right? A lot of scholars, they see that 33 number or that 39,000 number, and they think that that's just available to them sort of throughout any given semester, and it doesn't work that way, right? They need to understand that there are limits per semester that they are able to receive through the scholarship funding. This is a link for not only this flyer, so you guys can download it and look at it and maybe even model something for your own campus that looks really similar to it. But we've also included the presentation from last year that we did with Trinity and University of Houston, and their own orientation deck for the sessions that they use to orientate scholars, right? So all that information is in this link here. You can click that, get some ideas, get some examples, and really see how other campuses have been utilizing these resources. This is another awesome thing that I just learned about this year. So big shout out to Frida Nieto and Eastern Connecticut State University. Frida is actually one of our scholars, but actually also works at Eastern Connecticut. And they've actually worked with the admissions office. This is just for some context. Eastern Connecticut is one of our opportunity scholar partnerships, and so they received their award notifications last month. So since then, they've been thinking about how to onboard students and welcome students, and they came up with these little sort of testimonials. This is just a snippet of what the actual document is. The document actually is about 5 pages and outlines, highlights about 15 scholars, all from different majors. And what they did was they knew that admissions were sending out the packets to the Dream.Us scholars, and they included each of these little cutouts and testimonials in their admissions packet. So that is such a great idea. It's such a nice touch, right, for a scholar to receive their admissions packet, and in that packet, see a message from another Dream.Us scholar who is, a senior, a junior, is going through the system already, is navigating the system. It lets them know that there is a community on campus that is there for them, that supports them, that they can reach out to, right? So I really love this. It really let us know that, your scholars are your best advocates, and finding ways in which you can incorporate them into your onboarding and orientation process is going to be super, super powerful, right? I remember when I was doing my Dream.Us orientations at Hunter, I always made sure I had at least one of my scholars who was in the nursing program and in the education program come in and talk to how they've been navigating the process, knowing that those were two of our biggest programs and that a lot of the students coming in were going to want to know how to go into those programs and how to navigate those programs, right? And there's nothing better than them seeing someone else similar to them that has gone through the process or is going through the process. So really think about that as well as you are doing preparing your orientations. Really have a student speaker there who can highlight what the scholarship means to them and how they've been navigating their process. Again, this whole document is also linked to that folder. So you'll get all the information in tomorrow's PC Weekly. Um, Now we're going to shift into current scholars. And at this time of the year, right now, students who are eligibility status is kind of what is most pressing scholarship wise. So I will hand it back over to Elena.
All right. So, as we've mentioned in the recent PC weeklies, on April 18th, we did send out emails to our national scholars whose status is now showing as ineligible based on spring enrollment. The various reasons that they would have received the email is because they have now used all of their scholarship funds, so they've maxed out. They've hit the time limit, so timed out. You've let us know that they've graduated with either their bachelor's or their terminal associate degree. They had no enrollment information for the spring, and so we've withdrawn the award. And then we also, when we award the scholarship, we allow either for a fall or a spring start in the academic year that they were awarded. And so we had a number of new scholars who were awarded last year that never enrolled. And so they received an email as well, letting them know that their scholarship's been withdrawn and they can reapply again in the future. So just some things to note as you look at your PC Scholar Report, all of this information is now in there. So when you look at it, if you look at column O, you can see whether they are eligible or ineligible. And then their status is in column Q. So it will say maxed out, timed out, bachelor's, withdrawn, residency, different things like that. For those that have maxed out and timed out, just a little extra on how you can just sort of determine that information as well, or just like a double check. If you look at column N in the PC Scholar Report, that gives you the scholar's remaining award amount. So also probably something helpful as you start to move through next year to see how close scholars are to using all of their scholarship funds. And then for timing out, if you look at column X, you can see what time they would time out at the community college level. So for those who do decide to start at the community college, we allow them 3 years at the community college to earn their associate degree and or transfer to a 4-year degree, to a 4-year program. So column X will say this is when their last eligible term is at the community college, and column Y shows what their last eligible term is at a 4-year. So again, both of those two columns are really helpful as you begin to look at, future years. So like come this fall or during renewal period, you can see who's still eligible for, the next year. And then Chris is going to go a little deeper on the emails that we did send out and what you can do to help scholars there.
Yes, thank you so much, Elena. So as Elena mentioned, after EVRs are submitted is usually where we know sort of where all of these sort of statuses lie in terms of where the scholar is. And so that's why these emails have just recently gone out. And we've emailed students. They have been told to contact me if they have any questions regarding their status or if there was an error on that status. And I think, again, we've been doing much better as we go through these every year. I've seen probably half of the amount of cases coming in this round than last year. But we can still use your help in identifying students who are also going through these statuses and may have not already reached out to us or don't know what to do. So as Elena mentioned, all this information is already available on your PC Scholar report. You can filter the columns that she mentioned to identify those students who have either maxed out or timed out. If they've maxed out or timed out, and you are working with the student and you know that they have at least one, they have only one more semester left with 15 credits or less, they are still eligible to apply for bridge funding, which will give them one more semester or quarter of funding within the scholarship, even though they've technically maxed or timed out of the program, right? So if you see those students, if you're working with those students, please let them know there is an opportunity to receive additional funding. They need to submit the request form ASAP. So they will go on to their scholar portals, go into the request form, and submit a request for bridge funding. Again, if they are looking at this for next semester, they need to do this ASAP. Elena's on these right now. She is knocking them out. So they need to take advantage and get them in while she's in the mix and really getting these completed, right? If
Chris,
the
one thing to mention, not
Yes.
ASAP. They have to wait for spring grades to
Oh,
post.
you're absolutely right. Thank you so much for checking me
Yep.
on that. They actually do need to verify that they only have 15 credits left for next semester. So they do need to make sure that they have their grades um, posted onto their transcript. But as soon as that happens, then immediately submit those requests for. Thank you so much again for correcting me on that one, Elena. If the student is graduated, please just remind them that they still need to complete the surveys. That way we collect information on our graduates and make sure that we're staying connected with them post-graduation. Um, if they were withdrawn for personal reasons, we all know that students have cases where they need to take a pause. If they were not enrolled but are looking to come back next semester, Elena will accept their break of enrollment request form retroactively. It's the same process. They will go into the request form, but as they're sort of submitting their statement, they should let Elena know that this is actually retroactive for the spring 2024 semester. And then again, she will review those and update the student accordingly. For students who just received the scholarship last year, 23-24, we do allow them until the spring 2024 semester to enroll. If they don't, they are technically withdrawn from the program. Um, for extenuating circumstances only, right? So they have to have an extenuating circumstance. It can't be like, I just forgot to register for classes. If they have an extenuating circumstance and are looking to go into registering for the fall semester, they can email Elena at the email listed here and provide their names, their app ID number, and the explanation of what their extenuating circumstance was. There is no guarantee that they will be reinstated, but that will be reviewed, and again, a decision will be made to them appropriately. Anything outside of this, or if there's any questions regarding any of these eligibility statuses at this point, outside from the extenuating circumstances, please feel free to email me or have the scholar email me, and I can walk them through next steps. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to our queen of data, Vernisa.
Thanks, Chris. So hi everybody. For those of you who don't know, my name is Vernisa Donaldson. I'm the senior research analyst here at TheDream.Us. And a little bit about my role really quick is that I usually work with the data that we collect from our scholars, from our alumni, and from you as our partners at our colleges. I also do a lot of internal data management work and some program support from my colleagues here at TheDream.Us. But basically, normally I'm working behind the scenes, so it's always nice to get to, pop up and see you all and talk a little bit about our work. And so I'm here today to share the news that our annual scholar survey is launching tomorrow, May 1st, which is super exciting. Chris, can you go to the next slide? So why is this exciting? For me personally, it's because I'm a bit of a nerd. I like data, I like numbers of all kinds. And so survey season is always really exciting. when we start collecting our data and the numbers come rolling in. So if that applies to you as well, and you're someone who also appreciates data, this is definitely something for you to look forward to. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. It's also exciting because we hear directly from our scholars. And so it's a chance for our scholars to share their candid feedback about their experiences in the past academic year. So their experiences, their aspirations, their needs, and to share some of their achievements that they've done over the past academic year. And data like that is super crucial for us to become advocates for our scholars and also for us to understand their needs so that we can make changes where possible based on what they're telling us. And then finally, it's exciting because we're going to get to share this data back with you. And so, like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But before I get to that, details. So you could go to the next slide, Chris. So as I mentioned, the Scholar Survey is going to launch tomorrow, Wednesday, May 1st. And then the deadline to complete it is June 1st. So we're going to be encouraging scholars to fill out the survey throughout the month of May as part of our hashtag Give Back Month, where scholars can honor their scholar commitment to give back by, using their voice, sharing their stories with us through filling out the survey. So we're going to encourage that through the month of May. Who is the Scholar Survey for? So we wrapped up our alumni survey earlier this month, and now we're pivoting to focus on current scholars. So whether they were enrolled in college over the past academic year, or they graduated or are getting ready to graduate, we want to hear from them on the Scholar Survey. The survey will cover the 2023-2024 academic year, as I mentioned. So it'll be the most up-to-date data that we have from feedback from your scholars. And then finally, the survey links are going to be emailed and texted directly to the scholars. So if they reach out asking about the survey or wanting to know how they can complete it, they should check their email inboxes, check their text messages for the links. And then if they really don't have it, they can always reach out to me or reach out to Hayne, and we'll get them their survey links. Next slide, please. So to the part that's hopefully exciting for you as well, after the survey closes, you'll get your own personalized scholar survey report with data that's specific to your partner college. And this will include data across a broad range of topics, including your scholars' academic experiences and their achievements in the last academic year, their feedback about their experiences at your partner college. So their experiences with the resources and supports that are available to them and how they feel about them. It'll also include some data on their career experiences to date, so what they've done so far and their aspirations. And this includes some really crucial questions like whether scholars understand how to pursue their career interests without work authorization, which, as we all know, is becoming increasingly relevant to the scholar pool that we serve and also for our work on their behalf. We also have data about their post-graduation plans and their interest in graduate school and any plans that they're making around that, and so much more. But you're gonna have to read the report in order to see what else is in there. But basically, if you have a question about the program, about your scholars and their experience in it, we probably asked it in the scholar survey. And so it's a really great resource for when you're starting to think about those questions and to plan around them. Next slide, please. So as a quick example of that, also included in your personalized reports will be in-depth insights like this chart, which shows how scholars felt about different staff and educators on campus and how knowledgeable they were at serving undocumented students. And last fall at the November PC Power Hour, we got to learn from our colleagues at CUNY and at the University of Houston about how they incorporated data like this and other data from the Scholar Survey into their work in order to plan to build out even more supports on campus. And so this data is a really useful tool for sharing with campus leadership in order for you to be able to highlight the state of the supports on your campus and then start to work towards institutionalizing these by making them more readily available and more easily accessible for our scholars and for for undocumented students on campus. But we can't really do any of this amazing work without getting the data first. And that's especially critical during years like this year, an election year. And so we hope that you'll join us in encouraging the scholars to participate in the survey and share their thoughts with us. Remember, all you have to remember is May is hashtag Give Back Month, and encourage the scholars to do so. Um, okay, so now I'll pass it to Elena to talk about renewal season, which follows up after Give Back Month.
All right, so we are getting close to renewal season. And so the renewals this year will take place between, or the renewal form is open between June 3rd and June 24th. So they only have 3 weeks to complete it. The renewal form itself is not anything drastic as far as, just having to fill it out. They do have to upload a copy of their most recent transcript. And that seems to a lot of times be a little bit of the sticking point is it doesn't always upload for them, or they're not double checking it to make sure that it has been accepted. If it's been rejected, they're not going back in and checking that and re-uploading the corrected copy. So in the May PC Power Hour, we are going to go a lot deeper in renewals. Because I am cracking the whip, as I've been telling folks on the team. Even today, I got an email from one of our partner colleges, and they just found out that they have a scholar who's been enrolled this semester whose renewal was denied last year because they did not go back in and re-upload a corrected copy of their transcript, and so their renewal was denied. They haven't received monies. And they're trying to see if there's anything that they can do at this point. So this year we are coming down hard and heavy. Renewal period is 3 weeks, June 3rd to June 24th. So, like I said, we're going to talk about it more in May about what you can do to help us to make sure that our scholars are renewing. And then hopefully by the end of this week, I will have all of the renewal eligibility information updated in your PC Scholar Report. So column AE, you will be able to filter on that next week and see who is eligible to renew this year. So one of the things I wanted to mention was if you were doing any sort of end of year, whether it be an in-person, reaching out individually for end of the year, just reminding the scholars that you have on that list that show that they're eligible to renew, start reminding them now that the renewal period will open on June 3rd. Make sure that they have their transcript ready to go, that they know how to actually go into their school portal, pull an unofficial copy, things like that. So I'm hoping that I'm sort of getting the point across that, this coming year, we are going to do away with, finding out, at the very end of April that somebody did not renew correctly in June from the previous year. So, Chris, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much. We will have an open forum for questions. I do see your hand up, Gabriela. There's so much more left, so let me just get through this, and then we will open up the floor, I promise. So as we shift now into seniors and alumni, this is the time of the year where we are celebrating our graduates. I don't know how many of you have already seen the video by our president and CEO, Gabby Pacheco, congratulating our scholars. So if you are planning a scholarship graduation ceremony, we know a number of our partner colleges were doing so. In addition to the regular graduation, they were providing these more intimate, really focused sessions of congratulatory awareness and just sort of celebrating our scholars. Feel free to use the video at these sessions as well. Make sure that you're sharing it with your graduates. But it is a great time of the year to be able to do such things. We've already sent out the scholar stoles, the graduate stoles. Hopefully you are distributing those. And, we have a great example from Grand Canyon University right here of a ceremony that they put together. And you can see the students look amazing with their stoles on and really just celebrating the culminating experience of their undergraduate careers, right? So really want to encourage that wherever possible. If you have any opportunities, any things that you want to highlight, scholars who are graduating and moving on to like amazing things or are winning awards, please send that to our press team. You can see the email there, Michael at NP Agency, and we'll be able to hopefully uplift and highlight those stories. You can also see some examples from Dominican University and Oglethorpe of ceremonies that they've held on campuses and have highlighted through social media. Anything that you guys do, please make sure you hashtag TheDream.Us, hashtag DreamerGrad. We love to see those stories. We love to highlight those pictures and those stories of our graduates, and really just make sure that you keep us in the loop. Here are all of our social media links and platforms. So please make sure that you keep us connected with all of this activity that is going on at this very special time of year. With that also, make sure that we are also reiterating to alum that they are still part of the program. Just because they've graduated and they're no longer receiving financial funds, we do still provide them support services and graduate resources, and we want to hear from them through the alumni surveys. So just reinforce that with them, that they need to make sure that they're staying connected with our program. In addition, again, being this time of year where we're seeing graduate students are thinking about how to go into a graduate school programs, and their number one priority is how am I going to be able to pay for such programs. So we want to highlight there is going to be an info session this Thursday, May 12th, 1 Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can click the link here to register and find more information on our webpage using the link here. And the graduate loan program is open to DACA and TPS students, not just Dream.Us scholars. So if you have other students that you are working with who are undocumented, you may want to share this resource to them as well. And we'll be able to hopefully use all will also be able to join the session, hear about the loan program, how it works. Both Gabby and I will also be representing the Dream.Us and talking a little bit about how we've worked in relation to the loan program and social finance. And this should be a really good session. So really encourage you all to chime in and really sit in on the session coming up later this week, Thursday. In addition to that, we do have resources that you might already know of, but just want to make sure that you are reminded. We do have a partnership with Kaplan Test Prep, and we have a multitude of different courses that are available to our scholars for free. So please advise scholars if they are looking to take a graduate entrance exam and need to prepare for those courses. Kaplan probably offers a course on helping them increase their scores. And through the Dream.Us, they will be able to have access to that for free. We also have 50% discounts for the actual application fee for taking the GRE exams. So students can also access this. All of this information is on our website, linked here, in addition to other graduate scholarship guides and information. And with that, I would love to open the floor. We have some time, which is great because I would really want to hear from our partner colleges. Please don't be shy. We would love to open up the floor. And I see, Gabriela, you have a question. Why don't we start with your question, and then I can prompt in some other courses for discussion.
Okay. Elena just mentioned the situation about non-official transcripts for the students, because this is, I keep on sending, they keep on asking me, and I print it and I send them. But if right now I know exactly how many students have the opportunity to renew, why I don't print automatically all the unofficial transcripts at the end of the semester, putting in a specific box and send them to you guys to make sure they have it. I don't know, is because print an official transcript for the students, if by any reason, any kind of hold or any situation, they cannot do that. Or you need to go to advisee and printer and CUNY first keep and switching is complicated for them. Is any way I can print all of them, put it in one place, send it. And when the students start renewing, you can pull by City Tech, but it's not possible that we're doing in advance. I'm trying to figure out a way to make sure for an official transcript, they don't lose the renewal. That's my only goal. I know
So
it. You know the way I
appreciate you, Gabriella, wanting to do that for your scholars, but it's your scholars' responsibility to go in and do that. I will say, as you did kind of mention it though, that if somebody does have a hold on their account and they're not able to do that, the fact that you're willing to go in and print the copy and get it to them is amazing. And we hope that all of our scholar advisors are able to assist those scholars in doing that, because we have had scholars who do lose their scholarship because they have a hold on their account and they're unable to access their unofficial transcript. But to just be able to download all of them and put them in a file and then us do it from there, it's just not something we can do.
Okay. And I checking also the report, the new PC report, and it's a little different and confused me because it's a section that in the one I need to check, that will be the AE. One section, one big group of students doesn't have anything in only their names. What that means in the report.
Any of the new cohort that we've just awarded, they've already started, they've accepted for City Tech, they've started populating in your report, so there's no information listed for them whatsoever. So that's why their column is blank. I will have everything updated by the end of this week, so next week you can pull that report and see who all is eligible.
Okay, good. And then it's, for the ones they need to accept by May 9, which group? I can email them now.
That's
the group
the
and tell them.
Report.
Okay. I tried to open, I couldn't open. Okay, perfect. That's what I'm gonna make sure. And then now I can remember I was sending previously, you told me don't send anybody. You didn't send the acceptance. Now I can do it again and make sure. Okay.
Correct.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Gabriella. And I see Cynthia has a question, please.
Hi, everyone. This is Cynthia. I'm from City University of New York in our centralized office. Just wanted to uplift the work that Chris has shared in relation to the practices being done at John Jay and the practices being done at Trinity Washington University. I know for folks, it can feel like there's this kind of like extra things that need to be done or alternative ways that we can engage with students. But they have really demonstrated to have a huge impact on our student cohorts across our campuses. So we have 25 campuses, and as you can imagine, the level of support can vary. But for those campuses that have been able to even just send an email to reach out to the student with like clear outline of what exists at the campus that can support them, what are some new resources that are available, can make students feel like they're welcomed and they're wanted and that there's a commitment by the university to be in this space. So definitely the welcome guide that Denise created at John Jay. I love the student testimonials that you shared, Chris, from Trinity Washington University. That's beautiful to like have like a student face welcoming them to the campus. And it's like a new way of making sure that students feel onboarded. And the reason that I emphasize why this is so important, aside from just Chris doing this through this conversation, is that you also want to make sure that students feel tapped into the onboarding process so they can onboard future students. And so like this, the like responsibilities and the accountability that's currently on your desk can also be shared with the student body. So that's what a lot of students in my office are doing, is that they're really excited to onboard future Dream.US scholars and are like coordinating an orientation for all Dream.US scholars. And so that can really help also lessen the load on your desk. But yeah, I think I just wanted to share like why it's so important to have these kind of resources. And maybe the last thing I'll say too is because I bring it up because Maureen, your comment, uh, I thought of it because you're at Portland State University, and I think they just opened a Dreamer Resource Center. So perhaps this is kind of a space to connect with as well to help build these resources and work collaboratively on onboarding students. So always like rely on others to help you with the process and not take it on your own as well.
Thank you so much for that, Cynthia. Thank you for conceptualizing that and like giving sort of that additional perspective from sort of that campus side and really sort of seeing. I think you hit it on the nose, right? Like the impact that it has on students, it's so worth it, and really get students grounded and again sort of started at a good point, right? And making them feel welcome and really knowing what to expect as they start this academic journey, right? So thank you so much. That was so on the par. Um, I did want to make one connection. It was actually Eastern Connecticut State University that did the testimonials. So I just want to make sure we're giving them their proper shout outs. And so that was like amazing, and I love that as well. And as you said, it's so great for other scholars to sort of just see that face and have that connection. Um, Gabriela, you have a question?
No, sorry, I thought I put lower my hand. My apologies.
Oh.
Now it's low. I cannot see it because basically it's low or what?
It was up, but it's fine. No worries.
It's no more up?
No, you're good. I do see that we have a question regarding the applicants. I don't know if Elena, if you could maybe chime in on that. So what do the number of new students look like this year in comparison to last year or years past? Are we seeing an increase in new scholars?
So last year was an anomaly year for us. We had some additional funding, so we were able to actually award a lot more applicants last year. And we had kind of made during the application round this year, just, sort of reminding PCs that was an anomaly year. And so this year would go back to sort of how it has been in the past. So even though we have awarded a little over 1,400, we know not everyone is going to accept. And whether it be they decline the award, they just never respond to the award. And then once actually enrolling in school and starting either the fall or spring, we know there's also some attrition that happens there. So we're expecting with the number that we awarded to see around 1,100 scholars actually enroll this coming academic year.
Thank you so much. We are coming to a close, but I do want to make one more note. I saw there was a question regarding our new scholar national welcome. We do, and I see that Hayne actually already responded to that, but I just want to highlight it a little bit further. We do have a tentative date for August 8th for our national new scholar welcome. I don't want to get too much into the weeds of that because we most likely will be covering it at next month's PC Power Hour when we have hopefully firmed up the date a little bit more. But just as a note, like if you are looking at doing an orientation session, hopefully we've nailed down how important and how valuable that is for our scholars. You may want to coincide that with the new scholar welcome. It's a great opportunity for you to hold a session where you can actually view the new scholar welcome and then sort of seamlessly run into an orientation session. I did attend the one for John Jay a few years ago where again, Denise did an amazing job of seamlessly tying those two sessions together and really providing that a very informative space for students to learn everything that they needed to know about the scholarship program, but also feel, again, sort of welcomed both at the national level and at the campus level, right? So I don't want to go too much more into that, just dropping some seeds for thought. And then hopefully we can go a little bit more in depth about that in our May PC Power Hour. With that, I think we are at the hour and we will let you guys all go. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for everything that you do. As mentioned, in next month PC Power Hour, we're going to be doing a deeper dive on renewals and some of the programming that we're going to be doing for the summer, including new scholar welcome, career resources, our summer career series, and scholar office hours. So all that information is upcoming for next month. Hope to see you there, and bring a friend, because I'm looking at the attendance and the attendance is way too low here for all of the partner colleges that we have across the country. So make sure you're tapping into all of your team members at your campus and let them know that they need to be attending these sessions with you, so that we're all on the same page in supporting our students and we're working collaboratively, not in silos. So love you all. Have a great day, and we will talk soon. Ciao.